Look at the screen. You think you are entirely in control of your life, but every single decision you made today was secretly dictated by an invisible disease. That disease is fear. It stops you from saying what you really think. It stops you from taking risks. It keeps you locked inside a comfortable, predictable cage. But what if, right now, at this exact second, a cosmic event triggered a global neurological mutation? What if the amygdala, the fear center of the brain, permanently shut down in all 8 billion humans simultaneously? The first 24 hours would feel like an absolute utopia. Social anxiety would vanish into thin air. People would immediately quit the dead-end jobs they secretly hated. Millions would finally confess their deepest feelings to their crushes without a single drop of hesitation. For one day, humanity would experience total, unfiltered psychological freedom. But what if this ultimate freedom was actually a biological death sentence? I will show you exactly how humanity would destroy itself in less than a week. But first, let's look at the immediate physical consequences. Fear is not just an emotion, it is an evolutionary brake pedal. It forces your brain to calculate consequences before your body acts. Without it, the concept of danger completely evaporates. By day 2, hospital emergency rooms would be catastrophically overwhelmed. People would drive their cars at 150 miles per hour just for the thrill. Pedestrians would blindly walk across busy highways, not caring to look left or right. Millions would perish engaging in extreme sports without any safety gear. Why would a fearless mother willingly watch her child walk into a burning building? I'll explain the terrifying neurology behind that in just a moment, because first, you have to understand the collapse of the justice system. By day 3, modern society completely fractures. Human laws only work because of one single mechanism: the fear of punishment. If you remove the fear of prison, the law becomes a meaningless suggestion. People would simply walk into stores and take whatever they wanted. Violent crimes would skyrocket because no one would be afraid of getting caught, and no one would be afraid to fight back. Police officers would quit, realizing they can no longer intimidate criminals. But wait. If everyone is fearless, shouldn't people heroically protect each other? Here is the darkest truth about the human brain. Fear and empathy are biologically linked. You only care about someone else's suffering because your brain can simulate the fear of that suffering happening to you. Without fear, you cannot feel pity. You become numb to the pain of others. This is why that mother wouldn't save her child from the fire. She wouldn't perceive the fire as a threat to herself, and therefore couldn't simulate the threat to her offspring. Society is burning, but there is one specific group of people who are suddenly thriving. Who are these new apex predators? You might be working with one right now. They are the psychopaths. In our normal world, psychopaths have to mask their true nature to avoid societal consequences. But in a fearless world, everyone else operates exactly like them. Except the psychopaths have a lifetime of experience manipulating without emotion. They would immediately rise to absolute power, forming brutal, logic-driven dictatorships. They would exploit the fearless, numb masses who no longer care about their own survival. By day 5, global supply chains would permanently freeze. Why would a farmer wake up at 4 a.m. to harvest crops if they aren't afraid of starving? Why would engineers maintain the power grids if they aren't afraid of the dark? Motivation on a global scale would evaporate. Without fear to enforce the rules, humans would simply stop trying to survive. The global population would plummet by 80% in the first year alone. Starvation, untreated diseases, and sheer recklessness would cull the species. Those who remain would not be human anymore. They would be empty, wandering shells. You finally realize that fear was never a cage. It was a shield. That nervous feeling in your stomach before a big presentation, that spike of anxiety when you walk down a dark street at night, that is millions of years of evolutionary engineering keeping you alive. It is the only reason your ancestors survived the predators of the ancient world, and it is the only reason you are sitting here watching this video today. So, the next time you feel afraid, don't wish for it to disappear, say thank you.